Welcome back. Next up, we have Jordan Ziegler with his MLB division winner predictions. This past weekend, we obviously had the kickoff of the MLB season. Jordan, who's winning each division?
Yeah, it's my absolute favorite time of the year. I'm not even going to keep you guys waiting. I'm going to go right into it. Starting with the AL Central, I have the Guardians repeating Bieber, Quantrill, Seville, Plesac, McKenzie. That's their starting pitching rotation. I mean, that's arguably one of the best in the league, if not the best. You pair that with Clase and Karinchak coming out of the bullpen. You're lucky to score 4 runs off of this team. I mean, that's just one of the most solid teams you could possibly have pitching-wise. And then you look at Jose Ramirez, obviously their star player, WRC plus of 139 last year, WOBA of 320, not to mention he had an on-base percentage of 355 and a WAR of 6.2. Any WAR over 5 in the MLB is phenomenal. Any WAR over 6 is MVP caliber. Steven Kwan, Gold Glove winner last year, only a 9.4% K rate. Contact percentage of 91.7%. When he swung the bat, he put it in play 90% of the time. That's ridiculous. This seems very loaded. The Twins and the White Sox could definitely make some noise in this division, don't get me wrong, but Cleveland's a sneaky 95+1 team. Moving on to the American League West, some people might call it a homer pick, given that I am from Washington, but I have the Seattle Mariners. Houston is obviously a really good team. They did lose Justin Verlander, though, so that pitching may have suffered a little bit. The Mariners, and this will be a theme with me throughout the entirety of my predictions, elite rotations get the job done, and the Mariners have one of those. Luis Castillo is a candidate to win Cy Young in the American League. George Kirby and Logan Gilbert are both super, super solid young pitchers. And then Robbie Ray, who is on the 15-day IL right now, should be back after that. Had one of the best spring trainings of his career. He's 2 years removed from winning a Cy Young award. He's a 2-time All-Star, and right now he's projected as the Mariners' 4th arm in the rotation. Having a 2-time All-Star Cy Young award winner as your 4th arm is ridiculous. Julio Rodriguez, one of the best young players in the entire league, possible MVP candidate. What he does on a baseball field is irreplaceable to a team. Not to mention you pair that with Teoscar Hernandez, the new pickup in right field, and Jared Kelenic, if he can just bat like 250 in left field, with A.J. Pollock on the Mariners bench right now. That is arguably the best outfield in the league. This Mariners team is secretly loaded, and no one is really talking about it. Next in the AL East, I have the New York Yankees. Again, another repeat division winner. Once again, starting rotation, when healthy, is the best in baseball. It's Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Nestor Cortez, Luis Severino. I mean, all 4 of those arms are aces on pretty much every single other club, and that's their 1 through 4. Yeah, good luck. Aaron Judge had a 207 WRC plus last year and won an MVP award. That's the best player in baseball right now, besides Shohei Ohtani, because, you know, he pitches and hits. But Aaron Judge is easily the best hitter in baseball as it stands right now. Not to mention their bullpen has the best pitch composition according to StatCast in the entire league. They have the best vertical movement, best horizontal movement, up and down as a bullpen. When you move the ball and spin the ball like the Yankees do, it's almost impossible to hit them. So you have best starting rotation paired with one of the best bullpens. Once again, another team you're not going to score runs against, and they're going to score a lot of runs against you. Moving on to the NL, we start in the Central. This is probably the biggest layup of the entire prediction segment. The Cardinals, and really for reasons of the rest of the Central's not good. Okay, the Brewers maybe can give them a run for their money just because of how loaded their pitching staff is. But other than that, the Cardinals have one of the best lineups in the league. They have Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt won MVP in the NL last year. That's ridiculous. Nolan Arenado is a perennial 10 WAR third baseman, which is also just nuts. Jordan Walker, who's a rookie on the team this year, has a chance to be a stud and probably would win Rookie of the Year in the NL if Corbin Carroll wasn't also a rookie. Their pitching is definitely the weakest part. Their starting pitching, I should say, is not great. Jack Flaherty, if he has a bit of a resurgence, can be really good. Adam Wainwright's a bit too old. Their bullpen is pretty solid, though. But once again, they're just not going to need to be that good to win the Central because, I mean, the Reds and Pirates are going to be bottom feeders. The Cubs are kind of a coin flip. They could be decent. They could be really bad. Time will tell. But Cardinals run away with that division pretty easily. Moving on to the West, something a little different. We got the Padres. They spent a lot of money in free agency, and I think it's going to pay off. Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove and Blake Snell are obviously great arms in their rotation. Josh Hader is one of the best closers in baseball coming out of the bullpen. Xander Bogaerts, in my opinion, is the best shortstop in the MLB, especially just based on offense. He's a career 134 WRC plus player, and this doesn't matter, but already has a 309 WRC plus through the first series of the year. You have Manny Machado, who's the second best third baseman in the league behind Nolan Arenado. Fernando Tatis is coming back this year, one of the most exciting players in baseball. This team is just stacked through and through, really good pitching, really good rotation, and just an excellent offense. The Dodgers lost a lot of pieces and suffered some injuries in spring training, and they also don't have Walker Buehler this year coming off of Tommy John surgery. If any year is a year for a team besides the Dodgers to win the West, it's the Padres this year. Finally wrapping it up, I have the Mets, another team that just spent a ton of money in the offseason. Scherzer, Verlander, obviously the big headliners for that rotation. But Kodai Senga, who's a rookie this year, arguably has one of the best pitches in the MLB with what he calls his ghost splitter because the ball just disappears on you. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't need to say much more about the Mets because of how good they are. And then to wrap things up, I'm going to say I think the Padres will face off against the Guardians in the World Series. And I think the San Diego Padres are going to win the World Series in 2023. That's all from me. To wrap up the show, we're going to have our NCAA basketball national championship predictions.